I'm just a little confused on that one. I feel like I figured out the second part very well.
Holmes has been locked away in his room for days, always saying the same things. I'm thinking, Watson. Very good, Watson. As you wish, Watson. But I am thinking too, so much so that I can't sleep. Annie Chapman. Good Lord.
We always control Watson because Sherlock Holmes is literally like the laziest man on the face of the earth.
Do you really hate Sherlock Holmes or something?
No, I like Sherlock Holmes, but it seems like they made him really unlikable in this game.
He's not that unlikable.
I think he's pretty unlikable in this game.
Okay.
Holmes examined the broken jar that belonged to Finley's tenant. I wonder what this substance is. I don't recognize the odor.
Formalin, Watson. This jar contained formalin. Interesting, don't you think? I've been waiting for something for days. Just the tiniest bit of news that would make sense of this whole matter. But there's nothing, neither from the press nor the police. Unless Inspector Aberline is holding on to some information without realizing its importance, which is quite possible. It is time for you to return to the police station in Whitechapel, Watson. And didn't you tell me that you had a matter to take care of it? Take advantage of it to learn more about this pill and its contents.
Ah, but Holmes, it's late, and spending another night in this district is hardly my idea of entertainment.
I know, Doctor, but we don't have any choice. Time is against us. Take your pistol in case you run into any troublesome characters.
Fine, as you wish, Holmes.
By the way, I was looking this up. This is actually not the first game in this series.
Oh?
It's just the first game on console.
Oh.
It starts with The Mystery of the Mummy, which is a PC-only game, I believe.
Huh.
Oh, it also came out on Nintendo DS. Then there was The Case of the Silver Earring, which was on PC and Wii. Then there was Sherlock Holmes The Awakened, which...
Night of September 11th.
Oh, no. Now, so this is interesting. Sherlock Holmes The Awakened follows blah, 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 blah. So this game is actually on PS4, PS5, Xbox One, and Xbox Series X and S.
So is your point here that, like, I'm supposed to have played all the other games, so I'm supposed to know how to do the puzzles better?
No, it's actually not. It's just... Oh. I'm a little confused because this is basically, I guess they remade The Awakened. I don't really understand. In 2008, a remastered version was released. It offers the ability to play it in third-person perspective. A remake of the game is in development.
Good evening. I hope I'm not disturbing you.
Not at all, Doctor. This man, Mr. Richardson, is a witness to the horrid affair at 29 Hanbury Street, the murder of Annie Chapman. We are discussing the relevance of his testimony.
When I clicked on the door, I thought he'd just walk in. I didn't know he would automatically start talking to the guy.
No, it's not a big deal. It's just, I'm saying, like, if we want to, at some point, we can go back and play these older ones. But this was pretty much the first one on console, and we're playing on console because honestly it's just sort of easier to record.
So was anyone saying anything about why the puzzles are so hard?
I didn't look that up because I figured if I start looking that kind of stuff up, I'll just see the answers of like what the puzzles are and who the villain is.
That makes sense.
I didn't look it up for that reason. I just looked it up to see what the series was. That's all.
I know. I wanted to say something, but then I forgot. You want to hear this guy with the testimony stuff?
Yeah, I don't think he was really there.
You're probably not in a position to discuss it with me, but I would like to know more about what you call the relevance of this young man's testimony.
Oh, there's no secrecy. It's simply that the testimony given by Mr. Richardson doesn't match the time of death given by the coroner, Dr. Phillips.
What was the time of death, according to him?
Before 4:30 in the morning.
My conclusions were the same. Were there any other conflicting testimonies?
Well, 2 other witnesses summoned at the preliminary inquest gave testimony, but in these cases too, the times don't match.
Do you remember what it was they said?
I didn't question them myself. A colleague of mine took down their statements on paper, but on deciding they were of little use, he tore them up and threw them in the bin. There's no point in being bogged down with useless paperwork.
That's really dumb. You should have kept those.
I will take my leave, Humphreys.
Goodbye, Doctor.
What an idiot.
Regardless of the time period, there's always police who are bad at their job.
Apparently.
This guy looks like he's got a fake beard.
Yeah.
May I introduce myself? I'm Dr. Watson. I am...
You wouldn't be the chap what writes the detective stories in that there paper?
Well, yes, indeed, my stories have been published in the Strand.
Go, blimey, wanna tell me old mum?
It would seem your testimony is the subject of some debate. Could you tell me what it was about?
They'll be telling I'm a bit befuddled about the times that I told them. But it can't be so. I knows what I sees and what I don't sees that morning.
What did you see, or what didn't you see? And at what time, would you say?
I'll tell you this for nothing. It's me old mum who lives at the house where the body was found out back in the garden. She has her shop at the bottom to the right of the stairs. Her door was broken down not too far back because it's a real zoo it is. Right, the morning it happened, I head that way to see if me old mum has finally had the place broken into. It was 4:45 when I got there. That I'll swear on me dear old mum's life. I had a look round to see if the cellar had been taken. No. I had a little sit down on the stairs by the courtyard because me shoes were causing me no end of pain and I had a cut and all. I didn't see a single thing below the steps, Doctor, not one single thing. If there was some bird all covered in blood, tain't no how I could have missed that, even if it were night time. Right, 5 minutes after getting to number 29, I had to clip off. And now they tells me that either I can't tell time no more, or I was fixing me loafer next to a stiff that was still steaming. All right then, evening gents.
So he didn't see the body.
He didn't, but it was hard to understand him because he was talking like this about the poop.
Yeah, I thought he was going to steal our Lucky Charms or some shit.
I couldn't understand a word he was saying. He was like, "Oh, blimey, bloody boop the bird, but
We did read the subtitles.
Yeah, but he didn't say the same thing as the subtitles, so I kept getting confused.
So, how far along are the investigations into these two recent murders?
Everyone around here believes both crimes were committed by the same man. But as for the Hanbury Street and Bucks Row crimes, nobody has heard or seen a thing.
The only thing I don't like about this game is the fact that they don't give you enough tools to be able to come up with the puzzle's solution yourself. It seems like you just have to guess. And that's one thing that I don't like about games, is when the puzzles just seem thrown together.
They always seem thrown together to me in like every game.
In most games, they aren't. Or at least they're not supposed to be.
I guess maybe I'm just dumb.
You're not dumb.
I guess I just usually don't understand them.
But I think in this game, they could have done a lot better with the puzzles, seeing as obviously there was a lot more games before this.
Maybe you'll end up liking the next one more.
Maybe they'll have gotten a little bit better with it. It's just, I don't like that they have Sherlock talk to you sometimes and tell you some of these things, but then they expect you to know more than what's given to you. It's like, how am I supposed to make these assumptions when nobody gave me the right tools to make them?
Right, I understand. Yeah, I remember the Testament of Sherlock Holmes being pretty fun. That's the one I played through all the way. It's the only one I played through before playing this with you.
Were you good at the puzzles?
Mostly. I think I might have had to look up one or two things, but for the most part I was able to figure it out. And I remember that it was an interesting story, and it was the first one they had primarily developed for console, so I think it played a lot better. Because it wasn't like designed for PC and then put on console.
Do you think this one was designed for PC and then put on console?
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was, yeah.
By the way, have you heard of a Dr. Tumblety?
No. Is it important?
Yes. Well, no, maybe. Actually, I don't know. I have heard about this man, his frequent nocturnal outings and bizarre behavior.
What does this chap look like, Doctor? And where can we find him?
The last I heard was that he was staying at Finley's place, the man who was looking for me a few days ago.
It would greatly assist us if you could ask Finley what your strange associate looks like. We could then see if the description matches any witness accounts.
I think it's dumb that they waited multiple days after they had initially looked at the body and stuff. Because I feel like that A, gives more time for the killer to kill again, and B, it makes it so people move around in the world and possibly leave the places you last saw them at.
That's true.
And then you don't know where to find them anymore because there's no cell phones.
Goodbye, Doctor.
Well, I mean, also just things take a while during this time period, too, to, like, figure out, you know?
Yeah, so why would you purposely make it take more time?
I don't know.
It's, like, really dumb.
I can't tell you. I can't justify the police work in 1888 Britain.
I'm just saying 1888 Britain should have gotten its shit together.
Well, if you look at the streets, it seems like it certainly did not.
It certainly did not, that's true. Oh, he's not painting his desk anymore.
No, look, he's brewing a witch's cauldron.
There is a strong smell of gas. It seems to be coming from the abandoned building.
This guy doesn't seem to care much.
Good evening, Finley. How are you?
Oh, good evening, Doctor. So. And you?
Does he just live outside?
Yeah.
I guess.
Did you fart?
Gas here.
You might say, Doctor, without wanting to speak ill of the force, I have to wonder if the police are up to something.
What do you mean?
Well, I was outside yesterday evening when the light went out at my place, and a gas smell came from the abandoned building across from my place. And a minute later, the police arrived and was snooping all around like it was them who hid the gas before arriving.
Have things sorted themselves out with your strange tenant?
Don't talk about it, Doctor. That man is truly bizarre. He goes to the most sordid locations once night falls. 3 days ago, my wife told me she saw him come in with blood-stained clothes and a fearsome look.
Oh, so he's the killer. Or at least that's who they want us to think it is.
Yeah, I think they just want us to.
Interesting. What does he look like, and how old is he?
Oh, he's my age, give or take, so the other side of 50. He's always dressed in a striking manner, with an American hat. He's big, close to 5'11", I'd say. He has a strange voice, not just his accent, see, his voice.
Why does it sound like Clock King's in the background? Like, what's up with the ticking? Is there a bomb?
I don't know.
It's just
Pretty well.
title card flashes,
Goodbye
and it's
for
like
now,
just
Finley.
Jack the Ripper
Goodbye,
versus the
Doctor.
Unabomber.
That's really funny.
Now then, let's go to the police station.
I wish that there was like a Sherlock Holmes versus the Unabomber.
That would be really
That'd be fun.
There is a strong smell of gas. It seems to be coming from the abandoned building.
I
Let's
bet
go in.
Finley uses that as his poop building.
That's it. That's what
Finley
he does.
just goes in up there and poops. Every time I see like a creepy looking dude walk by, I think we're being approached by a killer.
Really?
Do you ever think that?
I feel like I would feel like that every single second living in this horrible place.
Yes, Doctor.
Tumblety is a man around 5'11", about 55 years old, extravagantly dressed and with a rather distinctive voice. He boards at Finley's. You should know where that is, as the police were there only yesterday. Their arrival coincided with a strange gas leak.
Ah, yes, I know where you mean. Indeed, there was an odd affair with the gas. It was rather unsettling. We were searching for a well-known scoundrel who was ratted out by Squibby, the chap we followed and saved from the pack a few days ago. This thug, no pity Bluto, must have been in the abandoned building in question. But there was no sign of him when we arrived. Furthermore, an inspector said that, given the smell, the thingamabob that supplies gas to the building was probably damaged. So we took no risks and were called away somewhere else.
And no one bothered to fix it? That's
I will
mean
take my leave, Humphreys.
Goodbye, Doctor.
and unhealthy.
Yeah, and then just somebody's gonna walk by and light a cigar, and then the whole place will blow up.
Yeah.
Oh, well, it wasn't our problem. Whoopsie doopsie.
That's horrific. I would hate to live in a time period like this where like people didn't know anything about safety and such.
I would argue that they're just very negligent.
And very negligent, that's true. I am glad we live in a time where at least it's the law for people to not be as negligent.
Yeah, however, the law has gone so far the other direction that it's absolutely stupid as hell. So, like, for example...
Well, I know.
So, for example, if you have, like, someone come in to do housework, and this is a real thing, there are certain people that if I call them in to do work in our house, and they come in and, like, say they notice something against code, like, oh, you don't have enough smoke detectors, they legally have to report that.
Yeah,
like,
then
they
it's,
have to
ridiculous.
narc on you. It's like, bro, what? Why does this matter? I just want you to change, like, you know,
Good evening,
this door
Mr.
or whatever.
Solomonovich.
Good evening, Doctor. What a pleasure to see you again.
Why is it good evening, Mr. Son of a Bitch?
It's Solomonovich.
Good evening,
or whatever,
Doctor.
Solomonovich.
Tuscan Raiders were here while you were gone, from a certain point of view. I knew
Have
your
you
father in the
finished
Clone
converting
Wars.
the harnesses?
Yes, just now. I got a little behind because of all the commotion.
Commotion?
Don't you start. 3 days ago, the very afternoon that you passed by, there was a chase throughout the neighborhood. Hundreds of people were chasing one man, claiming he was responsible for the murders these last few days. Schmonz! It was awful. I hope those maniacs didn't catch him. Better the police should.
I like how it's like, oh, commotion? He's like, you stupid bitch, you shut your mouth, don't you start with me. It's like,
Oh,
well, I just
why?
didn't know what it was, I'm sorry.
I didn't cause the commotion.
Anyway,
Jeez.
tell me about the vaccine.
Tell me, did John Pizer turn himself in to the police?
Things unfolded as they should. Look in the newspaper, the Daily News from today.
Just tell me what happened.
Farewell, Isaac.
Goodbye, Doctor.
What kind of douchebag answer is, oh, why don't you just read the paper? No,
I don't
just
know.
tell me what happened.
There's a good reason why the public acceptance of the maniac theory should be endorsed and encouraged. At present, there is a real danger in Whitechapel of turning opinion in quite another direction. Oh, improbable rumors containing the worst elements of fantasy were inciting a hatred of Jews, more abhorrent than that which is caused by religious fanaticism.
Oh, no.
Following the police investigations into the circumstances surrounding the murder of Annie Chapman in Whitechapel, several men were arrested yesterday, among whom a Polish Jew named Pizer apprehended not far from the scene of the crime. Pizer was released last evening.
And then you're going to find out that in the end, this was actually written by a very young A.H. And that he went on to actually cause all of this because he believed that Pizer was responsible for the Jack the Ripper slayings.
What does Arnold Handler have to do with it?
It's Arnold Schwarzenegger, but it's just spelled wrong.
Oh, okay.
Wait, go back. There's always somebody else across the street from the cobbler, and it's someone different.
Yeah, this
Tell
lady
me,
looks like
is it?
the
So,
brothel
my
woman.
lord, you looking for love? True love?
No. Get
She's
away
scary.
from me.
I didn't like her.
Alright.
I hate these camera angles. They're so bad.
I'm telling you, it's Resident Evil's wet dream.
It's like really bad.
Like Wesker's gonna come out of nowhere and kick your ass.
Probably is.
Why are you so tired?
I don't know.
Took a big nap. Every time we record, Jilly's like,
Hey, Phoebe.
oh my goodness.
Good evening, Dr. Gibbons.
Oh, I
Dr.
actually
Watson.
yawned.
Did you keep the cane we spoke of last time?
I was going to sell it tomorrow, would you believe, having not heard word.
Well, that's kind of rude. This is why you don't wait multiple days in between stuff.
That's true.
Do you have any formalin here?
No, definitely not. They have it in university hospitals to conserve anatomical specimens in jars. But in a little clinic like mine, we don't keep anything but bad memories.
This guy has seen shit.
Maybe formalin is supposed to be some form of formaldehyde, since
Yeah.
it preserves things.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
And formaldehyde smells pretty bad.
Well, farewell, Doctor.
Goodbye, Dr. Watson.
Have you ever smelled
I
formaldehyde?
must retrieve
Yeah.
Sickett's cane at all costs.
What, are we gonna kill him?
Yes.
I'm sorry, Doctor, but I must pull my gun on you. Give me the damn cane.
So, did he give us the cane? Or do we have to, like, take it from here?
No, don't you have to go back to the cobbler shop and get those harnesses?
We already got them.
We do?
Yeah.
Oh, maybe you could use them on him? Are they in your inventory?
I don't know, let's just talk to him again.
Yes, Doctor?
Here are your harnesses, Doctor.
They are top quality, I'd say. Definitely worth the price of this walking stick. Here, it's yours.
Well, farewell, Doctor.
Goodbye, Dr. Watson.
Good boy.
I
So
must
I guess
go
you had
to
to
Miss
equip it.
Bevis.
Which is interesting.
Oh, I remember why we needed that stick so badly. Miss Bella said that she'd give us information on that dude if we brought it to her.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I didn't remember that.
I forgot to.
Can't you fast travel there?
Yes.
Take that pill. That lady's on fire.
She deserves it. She shouldn't have been a whore.
Jeez, Jill.
What? I'm only kidding.
You're like those people on Twitter.
Well,
They'll be like, sex is good, but then like a sex worker says something and they're like, you're a piece of shit.
they're horrible.
Good evening, ma'am. Your door was open. Isn't that a little dangerous?
Hello, Doctor. Don't worry, if the looks of anyone who enters doesn't please me, me and my pistol know how to convince them to leave.
Do you happen to know Annie Chapman, the poor woman who was killed 3 days ago?
Dark Annie? Like all the drifters in the area, I've seen her once or twice. With respect to the dead, Annie really was the bottom of the barrel.
What do you mean?
Well, in our profession, the pretty young ones go out when night has barely fallen and don't have a problem finding takers. But poor girls like Annie or Polly Nichols, who aren't as tender and are often sick, sometimes trudge around for a whole night in the cold and the rain before landing a client. And that doesn't help their appearances either. They don't have much choice about paying for a bed for a few hours, a glass of gin or a hot meal.
How terribly sad.
That's the price of survival in Whitechapel, my angel. One of my girls knew Annie for some time. They bought some jewellery on the black market, I think.
Jewellery? How could Annie Chapman have possibly afforded jewellery?
Luxuries for a woman are always relative to her condition, Doctor. As a matter of fact, it was real cheap junk. Annie got 3 assorted brass rings, I think. It's been said I have a memory for jewellery.
Oh, well then why would the killer take those if they were worthless unless it could be used to identify him in some way?
I don't know, but I was gonna say, it didn't. When you read the subtitles, did you see her say that she said that they bought them from a black fella, but she said black market instead?
Oh, no, I didn't
Did you
notice
see that in the subtitles?
I did see there were some differences, but I was trying to pay attention to what she was actually saying.
I think they like cut out her saying black fella for some reason, but they kept it in the subtitles.
You think that, like, it came off racist, so they cut it out?
Maybe, but why'd they keep it in the subtitles?
Maybe they missed it.
Or maybe I read it wrong?
I don't know.
How is Lucy keeping?
She's doing well, Doctor. But believe me, it won't last. Rare are the girls who can build a future in our profession.
Very well, I shall let you get back to work, Mark.
See you soon, my love.
Why she call us her love?
I don't know. She must really like us.
Also, that guy's not here.
He's not?
No.
How are we going to give him his cane back?
We're not giving him his cane back.
Didn't we get it?
Oh yeah, I have to give it to her.
Okay. So you're going to have to equip it.
Which is really dumb.
Sounds like there's a gun. I don't think it's that dumb. It's just how the game works, Jill. It's an old game.
Okay.
There's plenty of games like that.
Can I get a refill, please?
I don't need Jack the Ripper fan 32 in the comments getting
You're
mad.
still there,
Sorry.
Doctor?
Here's the cane.
I
Take it.
found the cane
Whack,
that was
whack,
stolen
whack.
from your client. Here it is.
Doctor, you are a real saint, I can see that. I'll finally be able to present my bill to this damned painter. If by chance you see him, tell him that a little surprise awaits him here.
You told me you would give me some information on this Dr. Tumblety.
Agreed. He's a Canadian or an American. He parades from time to time through the neighbourhood in a 50-guinea suit and acts like a doctor. but for business he isn't worth it. This damn Yankee hates swimming. The few times that he was approached by the girls, he spit on them, all the while hurling insults. It would seem that he was hunting for the bad boys. He's looking for trouble, that animal.
Does he frequent any pub in particular?
Aye, the Wasp's Nest on Burner Street, I think. A seedy spot even by our standards.
Very well, I shall let you get back to work, Mark.
See you soon, my love.
Alright, well, I guess let's get out of here then.
Go find the wasp nest.
Well, I want to get out of here, save, and go to bed.
Oh, we're finding the wasp's nest.
We'll do that next time.
We're gonna get stung by his wasp.
I think I'll pass.
Oh, okay.
You want to save the game?